Good morning, Samantha. Welcome back.
Thank you, Dr. George. Good morning.
So, how you doing this? How you doing today?
Um, I'm doing pretty good today. It's been a good morning so far. You know, I know last time I was kind of talking to you a little bit about just my friends and being bad at being a friend to them and relationships and just all of that. And so I made a little bit of progress on that over the last week. Um, I kind of we were talking last week about maybe reaching out to like my foster family and I haven't done that. That still really scares me, but it did make me think maybe to reach out to those friends of mine that like they kind of reached out to me when I got out of the hospital, and then we never really got together and stuff, and then I didn't pursue that. But that was definitely a lot less scary to reach out to them.
Mm-hmm.
So I ended up doing that last week, and we got to hang out together, and it felt like old times. Like, I was kind of afraid when I reached out to him that like it'd be really awkward to see him again, and that I don't know, I felt like they'd be a little awkward around me because I'd been like in the hospital for all my trauma and stuff, and just not knowing how to kind of start that. And they just all acted like, we'd been hanging out all along and that like nothing had happened. And so that was really cool.
I think that's amazing that you took the time to take that kind of a risk and to reach out. I'm just really pleased to see you doing that. So, tell me, what was one thing that was positive about that, and one thing that was negative about it?
Um, I mean, I think one of the things that was just positive was like, I was just really, really afraid to kind of do it. And I kept backing out of it. And then just once I did reach out to them and they all made some time to get together and everything, then it just made me kind of laugh that I had been so scared to reach out to them, because it seemed silly after we were back together. So I think it kind of built a little bit of confidence in that moment. I mean, I don't know that there was really anything negative about it, or at least that came up right away.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I'll have to kind of see how that goes. And I mean, I did get done hanging out with them, and I kind of just felt drained a little bit. So maybe that was the negative thing. I just felt like emotionally like overloaded
Right.
a
And
bit.
that kind of makes sense. So, when you feel like that, when you feel overloaded and drained and worn out, what kind of things do you do to care for yourself?
Um, Sometimes I just go and like I'll sleep, um, to just sort of block out the rest of the world and recharge.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I watch movies when I just need a break from kind of everyone in the world, and I write my stories.
About who's that character again?
Sam.
Sam. Huh. So what would Sam say about you reaching out to your friends? I mean, if she could offer her opinion about about that, what would you say?
She'd probably be like, it was about time. Like, took you long enough to do it. Because it's definitely something she would do. She would be the person to like initiate kind of pulling people together and setting up something. And I did reach out to everyone. I didn't actually set up the meeting. I just told them that I'd like to hang out again. And then they kind of did that for me because they know I'm bad at actually following through with stuff like that. But they decided that we could all go bowling together and just kind of hang out for a night and have fun.
Yeah, yeah. So tell me about one of your friends that you like. What is it? What's their name? Or you don't tell me their name, but what is it about that particular one person? And there may be more than one, but that you're attracted to. What is it that? What kind of characteristics do they have that you find yourself attracted to or liking?
Well, so one of my friends, her name's Rebecca,
Rebecca. Okay.
and she's married now.
Okay.
She hasn't been married for very long. She's been married for about a year and a half.
Okay.
And she's really nice to everyone. And not just like in the friend group, like she's just really nice to everyone that she meets.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a little kid now, and she's just a great mom. She's like super patient all the time. She never loses her temper. And she just like, I don't know, she trusts people kind of it almost seems like right away. Like she just kind of sees the best in everyone. And when I'm with her, I see a lot of the good in the world. She points out a lot of the good. And it's almost like she doesn't see any of the bad stuff that goes on. And so it makes her like a really refreshing friend to be around, because you can kind of open up to her and tell her anything, and she doesn't tend to like judge you or make you feel, awkward or, weird about having told her something. And it's like she listens, and she doesn't try to fix everything.
Right. We tend to get attracted to people that are like ourselves in some ways. So what parts of you do you see within her?
Oh, sorry, what was that?
Well, what aspects, we tend to get attracted to people that are like ourselves. So do you see part of yourself in her?
I mean, I see things in her that like I want to be like.
Like what?
I really struggle with like trusting people and seeing the best in people, and I'm always I don't know, I can be kind of judgmental towards people, and kind of always wondering like, are they being real? Are they putting on a show? Are they, and everything. And I don't know, when I hang out with her, right, she always kind of sees everyone as their best version of themselves. And it's a neat world to see when I'm with her.
Yeah.
And so it's a side that like I want to be more.
Yeah, and you may have more of those things than you realize. I know you're just trying to rebuild your life, but you may have more of those things within you than you may realize. You mentioned that she recently got married. What are your thoughts about her being married?
I really like the guy that she's married to. He's really, really nice. Right. And he treats her really well. And he's also, he works really hard and provides for the family and stuff, but he like makes sure to take time off to spend time with his family. And I don't know, sometimes when I see them all together and stuff, it makes me happy to see a family that is normal and is like really close and everything.
Right. The word normal, what does normal mean? That's that's something a hard word to understand. Normal. What in your mind? What is normal when it comes to family?
Well, like normal would be like a family where, the like the parents aren't abusive to their kids,
Mhm.
and they make time for their kids and they take care of them, and they're like loving parents, and they're people that like your kids, kids could go talk to about anything and not be afraid to tell them things and stuff,
Right.
um and they like do things together as a family.
Is that something that you hope for or not hope for? What do you think about when you think about yourself? How would that fit into your future, or would it even fit into your future?
um I think it's something I kind of, I missed out on growing up.
Yeah.
And I think the one family that was kind of the closest I ever got to that was the foster family that I've thought about going and trying to get in touch with again.
Hmm.
Um but even then, like, I didn't get that for very long.
Yeah.
Um and so I don't know, for me it's more, I didn't really get it, but Sam has more of that normal family.
Yeah. Yeah. Sounds like Sam's a very fortunate character that you have created, huh? I wonder how many people actually live like Sam. I wonder, how many people we meet and they actually have Sam's kind of life. And we just don't know. But at least you have an idea in your mind of what that could look like. So you mentioned about your foster family, about reaching out to them. So tell me a little bit more about your thoughts on that.
I mean, I kind of just keep going back and forth on that
Right.
idea.
Right.
I'd really like to get back in touch with them
Right.
because, I mean, I think, and maybe I'm just sort of dreaming, but maybe if I got back in touch with them and they wanted to reconnect and stuff, I'd get kind of that family back.
Right.
Um, but at the same time, I'm also kind of afraid to do that because what if I get back in touch with them and then they've changed over the years, and I I don't want to ruin kind of the memories that I do have, because they were like the one good family over the years that I did have, and like just some good years, and I don't want to lose that by finding out that they're different now.
I can see that. You want to hold on to the memories that you have and not have painful memories added to that. You kind of want to preserve that. But then you mentioned that people do change. Have you changed since you were with them?
I mean, I definitely did, because like before I ended up in their home for foster care, I'd kind of mentioned last time, like last week when we were talking,
Hmm.
that um I kind of started hanging out with the wrong crowd,
Okay.
and I started getting into a lot of trouble there. And then after I started living with that family, and then they found out about everything that I was into and doing and stuff, and they really helped me like get out of all of it and turn
Okay.
my life around.
Okay.
And so I kind of went from being this like really rebellious kid who was just, I just hated everyone and everything. And I don't know, they showed me that I could turn my life around and actually make something of myself.
Yeah. Sounds like a very special family. So I'm curious, what would Sam say against your pros and cons in reconnecting with foster family? If she was sitting there next to you, what would she say to you about that?
I don't know, actually. Um, I mean, she's the kind of person like she doesn't really care what other people think of her and stuff.
Yeah,
And she's really good at being able to like just take kind of every situation for what it is and deal with it right there and then not hold on to it.
yeah,
And so I know like if she was in that situation and then she tried to reconnect with a family or a friend or kind of anyone, and then they weren't who they used to be and stuff, um she'd be able to move on and not have it mess up her good memories of them.
yeah. Wow.
But like,
Hmm.
I don't know, I feel like because I don't know, she's kind of a stronger character than me and stuff, and for me, I things like that are really important,
Right.
and holding on to stuff like that. And so, I don't want to lose that.
Right. And I understand that. Congratulations on at least exploring the possibilities. Change is difficult. Particularly in your experience. When things have changed, it became pretty traumatic for you. So it's going to take a little time to learn how to trust. So getting back to your friend who got married, and I know you mentioned about relationships in the past. Finding a good person in your life. Do you have any thoughts about that today?
Well, so like, my friend who like my friend Rebecca, she um so I really have just for since I started remembering everything and everything started coming back, I've just been really angry at my parents. And when I'm with her and just because of who she is, and then like she has such a good relationship with her husband and stuff. I don't know, it makes me kind of have hope that like not all marriages are like my parents,
Yeah.
and people can stay together and stuff. And so when I see her and the way that she is in her relationship, it always makes me like want to be able to find something like that.
It's what we call the magic wand question. You've already heard of it before. Not that we, as a therapist, I can give you a magic wand, but if I could give you a magic wand and you can wave it over your life and get exactly what you wanted in terms of relationships, those type of things, and if you could live it for 24 hours, what would that look like? So you wave that magic wand, boom, your reality is what it needs to be. Tell me, what would that look like?
um I think if I could do that, I'd make it so that my mom never left us,
Mm,
and then I never got sent away.
mm,
And I would have just had parents that really loved me and who were kind of always there for me and able to watch me grow up and be at my graduation, and just like have parents who really loved each other and got along. And like, even if I could just have that memory of them for a day, because I barely remember them, then or if I could just not even change it, but go back and like just find out why my mom abandoned us and why my dad let me get taken away. Because I don't know, it just, especially the more I come to these sessions and talk, I just get more and more angry at them. Because, like, what parent leaves their kid? You know, and then I also sit and I wonder, like, if they knew about everything that happened to me, you know, would they even care? Would they feel bad about what they did? I just, and I don't know how to not be angry at them for that.
I think you have the right to be angry. I mean, your dad should have been there to protect you, right? And your mom should have been there to keep you safe and not abandon you. So you have the right to be angry.
And then, like, I don't know, when I think about it, I'm like, I feel like it's kind of stupid because I'm just letting, I mean, I barely even know them because I was so little when I got taken away, and yet I'm letting those two people kind of control a lot of the way I live my life. And I don't know, I don't know how to let that go and get that out because they're not here. I don't even know where any, like, you know, either of them are and stuff, and so I can't even tell them how mad I am at them.
Hold on, Samantha. You know, there's. I need to talk to one of my kids that just came into the room. So just hold on for a second. Right? Samantha, I'm sorry. When you're working, when you have a home office, and sometimes and the kiddos are home during the summer, so I apologize for having to interrupt that. Let's just finish your thoughts.
Um, well, I was just, you know, kind of just sitting here going like, I don't know if I'd feel better or not, but or if I could even let go of like everything I feel towards my parents, but to just know why, you know, to just have an answer from them as to why they would do that.
And what you're asking for is just to make sense of why things happen and why it had to be. Something I want you to think about, and you have to make a decision right now. But for some folks that talk about parent-related issues, if the parent is willing, and if they're willing, they can be part of one of these conversations. And what I would do is we would create a safe space where you can ask those kind of questions. Because it sounds like there's some things you really want to say to your mom. But remember, you control this. These are your sessions. But I just want you to think about the possibility if we're able to get in contact with her. I would love to have her be part of one of these sessions where you'll have a chance to tell her what you think. And again, it's not going to be like a negative, blaming type of thing, but maybe give you an opportunity to kind of share what your thoughts are, and then for you to ask the question why in a safe setting. So what do you think about that? Again, you don't have to make a decision like right now, but would you at least be willing to think about that? Or what are your thoughts about that possibility sometime in the future?
I mean, to me, that's also a little scary because
Yeah.
because I think right now there's also part of me that hopes maybe they had a good reason.
Yeah.
Like something that just, made sense. Like, I don't know what was going on that made them do that, but maybe I ended up getting sent away just because they thought I'd have a better chance at life somewhere else. And I'm afraid of them just not having wanted me.
Yeah.
But I also don't even know how I would try to find them if I did want to ask them.